What's up, comic book fans? My name is Bruce Moreau, and welcome back to the channel. And on today's episode, we will be reviewing the books that I picked up on April 24th, 2019. So, what was on my pull list last week? Well, we have The Amazing Spider-Man number 20, Avengers 18, Doctor Strange 13, Venom 13, Detective Comics 1002, Heroes in Crisis number 8, Justice League number 10, and Wildstorm 22. So, as you can see, it was a light week compared to last week. Last week, 11 books was crazy. Also, no indie books this last week, but I think the reason why last week was so big is because the 3 indie books that I am reading right now all came out last week. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the meat of the show. So, first up, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 20. This is written by Nick Spencer and art by Humberto Ramos. So this was a great book. I think the story is actually going to start heating up and coming to a head. In this book, we see Kraven's cloned son getting really annoyed with Kraven. He thinks that his plan to bring all these villains into the dome with all these rich people is against everything that the Kraven name means, and he ends up leaving his father in a huff, and he's going to go do what he thinks needs to be done. And in the last issue 19.hu, we saw that the Lizard was able to get in, and he's looking for his son, and Kraven's son and the Lizard end up meeting up, which was pretty cool. So I think, then we also find out a twist to what Kraven's plan actually is, and it's actually really good. So I don't want to spoil anything, but this is really good. The pacing in the book was great. The dialogue was awesome. Nick Spencer's, like I said, he's been doing really well in this book. I think of all the issues, there's been like one kind of dud of this Hunted storyline. So I highly recommend you guys picking up this whole Hunted series so far. The art's beautiful. Humberto Ramos, you can't do wrong in my book. It's so beautiful, such a great look to Spider-Man. I've always loved when you draw him. So, would I recommend you pick this book up? Definitely. Is this a jumping in point? No. So, yeah, great book. Up next, we have Avengers 18. So this is a War of the Realms tie-in of sorts. But funny enough, this is not focus on the main Avengers squad. This actually is focusing on the Squadron Supreme, which they've been actually teasing, I think, since issue 1. And so we find out that Phil Coulson is back, and I forgot why he's really pissed at the Avengers, but he's really pissed at them. And so he had been hired to start recruiting a team of heroes that will defend the United States. And so we got characters that are very much like Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Batman. I think that's it. They have very similar powers, but then there's a twist in it that I don't want to ruin. But yeah, this is a really good book. Ice Giants end up coming down or invading DC, and these guys repel them pretty easily. Really fun book. Although, this was written by Jason Aaron and art by Ed McGuinness. Ed McGuinness's art, it's like his characters are really chunky and thick, and that fit perfectly into the Squadron Supreme. This is a really good read. Jason Aaron, again, I've been gushing over him, I think, since I started this channel. His Thor run, amazing. I've been loving this Avengers run so far. It's been so good. He always does such a good job of giving you little hints of stories along the main storyline. So it's as the whole vampire thing was going on, there's little hints to what was going on here. So great book. Highly recommend you guys pick this up. Is this a good jumping in point? No. Again, I think I said in the last time I reviewed this book, wait for the trade. When a new story starts, it would be a good time to jump in then. All right, up next we have Doctor Strange 13. This was written by Mark Waid and Barry Kitson, and art by Barry Kitson. just like my last review on Doctor Strange, I really didn't like the book. I was really hoping that this issue would pick it up a little bit. So in the last issue, a sorcerer from another planet ended up coming down and asking for Doctor Strange for help. But the way he asked was not the way Doctor Strange wanted him to ask, and they ended up fighting for a little while. And we find out the reason why this sorcerer came down and asking for help was because Galactus was coming down to destroy his planet or feed on his planet. And in a desperation, this sorcerer ends up teleporting Galactus into a magical universe. I forgot exactly what the term of what it was, but it's like the magic realm. And that's where I guess it's really, really bad for him to be there and be feeding off magical energies, because it could cause Galactus to go insane. And so Doctor Strange goes there to help and bring Galactus back. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like a weird story, and I'm not really liking the dialogue, and I don't know. Coming from Jason Aaron's run on Doctor Strange and coming to this, it's just, I don't know, I'm not really loving this book, and the art, I'm not really liking the art that much either by Barry Kitson. It's okay, it's not like terrible or anything, but I think the story is just not that solid, so it's not really doing all that much for me. So I'm probably not going to pick this up for too much longer unless something else changes too much. But I don't know, I'm going to give it a couple more issues and go from there. Alright, up next we have Venom 13. This is written by Colin Bunn and art by Ivan Coelho? So this is kind of a War of the Realms tie-in. We do see some Dark Elves in this, and some fire demons from, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the realm. But I'll put that name up on screen. It's basically like a realm of the 10 realms. There's one realm that's all of like fire and volcanoes and lava. And so we saw some of those creatures. But this focuses, so in the previous issue, Eddie Brock and Venom separated. Eddie Brock found out that the symbiote had been lying to him previously, because I guess a while ago that Eddie Brock had cancer, but it actually never was cancer. It was just the symbiote making his body think he had cancer, so which made him go through depression. I think he became an alcoholic, and it just was a really hard time for Eddie, and to find out that it was the symbiote lying to him, Eddie was just like, no, get this off me. And so they end up separating, and so Eddie Brock is alone, and he has his son Dylan with him. Dylan doesn't know that Eddie's his father yet, and they're going through the city, and oh god, there's elves and frost giants everywhere, and Eddie's just trying to protect his son. So they end up running into some dark elves. Eddie helps get them away from the dark elves, but ends up getting injured in the process. They end up getting back to a bunker, and that he can put Dylan in, and then he heads back out, and then he runs into some dark elf witches, which actually does something pretty cool. They end up giving him like I call it like a wishing stone or something. It's like a stone that gives him his greatest gift, and so he basically gets like a new magical symbiote suit, but it's like driving him to be more evil. And I guess the witches did that so he could they could pull him over to Malakath's side and have him fight for Malakath. But Eddie's a good guy, and he's fighting against that urge to join the Malakath side. So yeah, this was a really good read. I'm enjoying that this is still pushing Venom's story, or Eddie Brock's story, but also bringing in the War of the Realms stuff. So that was actually really cool, because I hate when these crossover books happen and it just totally derails the story of whatever book it's in. It could be in any book, like a Batman book or whatever crossover comes in. It ends up pausing whatever story that was happening for this crossover to happen. But this is kind of like continuing that story, so that was actually really cool. So yeah, solid book. Art was great, beautiful. Ivan's art was great, and yeah, I would definitely pick this book up. I think I've reviewed this issue 12 before, and I think this whole run on Venom has been really, really good. And at this point, you should be able to pick up the first run and trade, so you can get caught up pretty quickly. All right, to Detective Comics 1002. This is written by Peter J. Tasami and art by Andrew Hennessy and Bradley Walker. What I want to say about this book. Arkham Knight is a cool character so far. I'll give him that. But the story so far isn't that interesting. It seems kind of rushed. And I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. In this issue, they brought in Damian Wayne, which I love Damian Wayne. I'm a big Damian Wayne fan. I know I'm probably a minority of that. I know a lot of people don't like Damian Wayne. I do wish they would start giving his character a chance to grow. He's always just this mad, angry, stubborn kid, which always ends up getting in trouble. And it's like, at this point, come on, kid, grow a little bit. But so it's cool that they're bringing him in, and he has direct contact with Arkham Knight. And at the very end of the book, it's these two characters together, Damian and the Arkham Knight. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, but overall the story's okay so far. I'm not like super thrilled, but I love Batman. I'm going to continue picking it up. So, is it a good book? It's decent. Would I recommend it? Probably not. Unless you're a Batman fan. If you're a Batman fan, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, that's my review on this book. Is it a good jumping in point for the storyline? Yes. It's only 2 books in. You can pick up this book and the previous issue and be all caught up. Heroes in Crisis number 8. This is written by Tom King, art by Mitch Gerard and Clayman, sorry. This was an incredible book. This is a really, really solid read. I've said since the beginning this book has been kind of like it's moving really slow. And I've always said that this book is going to read great in trade. This is because you can read the whole thing all the way through. And having to wait month to month for this has been kind of, I don't know, it's been a slow read. But this issue was beautiful. It's beautifully written. The art by Tom King and Clayman is absolutely incredible from front to back of the book. And to find out what happened at what is the name of the facility that it is? But what Wally did is absolutely crazy. It's told beautifully. Like I said, the art is gorgeous. I would highly recommend picking this book up if you're reading Heroes. If you're not, wait for it to come out in trade, and it's going to be a beautiful, well-told story that you can read in one book. Is it a good jumping in point? Issue 8 of 9? No. So wait for the trade, people. All right, we have Justice League Dark number 10. So this is my first review on this book. This is written by James T. Tynan. I'm sorry, I'm most likely butchering your name. And art by Raul Fernandez and Alvaro Martinez. I really have enjoyed this book since they launched it 10 issues ago. I love magic books. I really, really do. This team is Swamp Thing, Wonder Woman, Detective Chimp, Zatanna, Man-Bat, so it's like a little science and magic together, which is really good. Man-Bat is from the Batman side of things, but they bring him into this book, which is really, really interesting. Constantine was around for a little while, which is always great. I'm a huge Constantine fan. Yeah, so this is... Magic is out of control. Since the source wall was broken in the Justice League book, magic has just been out of control. They can't control it. And when they get introduced to this, these beings called the Other Kind. And they've been locked away in the source wall, so now they're free. And they basically want to destroy all magic. And they always come around when magic is used. So that's one thing. And then Dr. Fate is gone crazy. He's a big part of this story, and that was really fun. And I don't know, I just love this team. Detective Chimp, amazing. I love Swamp Thing. Oh my god, Swamp Thing is such a great character. I think it's great that we get characters that aren't truly magic with Wonder Woman and Man-Bat. I think they bring a lot to the team. Yeah, it's just a really, really, really fun read, especially if you're into like magic and dark things, monsters. It's really, really fun. Is this a good jumping in point? We're 10 issues in, and I think we're probably like 3 or 4 issues into the current arc, so it's not like a really great jumping in point, but I would suggest jumping or getting the trade and catching up to this book. It's really, really good. All right, last book of the day. We have The Wildstorm 22. This is written by Warren Ellis and art by John Davis Hunt. This has been one of my favorite books since I came out 21 issues ago, or 22 issues ago. So this is kind of like Warren Ellis's reimagining of the Wildstorm universe. And we have new characters, we have old characters meaning like the Midnighter and Apollo and Jack Hawksmoor, Jenny, what's her name? There's so many characters in this. The Daemonites, which are the aliens that have come down and kind of like can inhabit bodies, but normally they're super bad guys, but in this they're not. And in this book, there's 2 agencies that control Earth. There's IO, which I believe is on Earth, and they're supposed to control the land. And then there's Skywatch, who is a group of people who control outer space. And they have an agreement with each other, but of course, you know, all agreements when there's power involved end up crumbling at some point, and that starts to happen. And we have these superpowered beings, and it is just Warren Ellis. This is such an amazing story. You are taking characters that have had rocky stories or have been coming in and out of the DC universe for a while, and you are making them so engaging, so beautiful, so rich. Yeah, this book is incredible. So at the top of the book since the beginning, there's been counting down up to 24, and I'm guessing the last book is going to be issue 24. But I got to do a little research. When issue 23 comes out, I'll have more information for you guys, because I meant to do that before I recorded this video, but I didn't have a chance. But I want to find out if this book is going to continue in some fashion moving forward. I would love it if Warren Ellis and John Davis Hunt continued, because they've been on this book from the beginning. I doubt that's the case, but this book has been so good, and their reimagining of these characters is just absolutely incredible. Yeah, I would highly, highly recommend picking this book up. I know the first one, or it's probably 2 arcs or like 2 books worth of trades is out already, so you can pick those up, or you could wait until the whole 24 is out and pick it up when they probably release it in an omnibus. But oh my god, this is again, the art and the story is just incredible. There's so much going on, and it's a little difficult to follow, only because there's so much going on, and this book only comes out every month, but it's so worth it. I'm so excited every single time I pick this book up. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this review. As always, if you guys like this content, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you guys want to follow me on social media, my info is down below, both for Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.